This is TransAfricaRadio.
Right now, we have the legendary. So excited about this interview. The legendary UPZ actually goes by the name of Alvi Elman.
I was born in Israel, which is, I think, the only country that borders on Africa. And I came to South Africa. Well, actually, I lived 2 years in Kenya.
Oh, yeah.
And then from age 7, I was here, grew up here, went back.
Went back to Israel.
Yeah, like in my, after varsity here. And the last few years, I'm back here.
Yeah.
So now I'm here, though, since 2014, yeah.
So now you consider yourself a South African, actually?
Well, I am. I'm a dual citizenship, so I've always been
a South African, you know. So now, how has been the transition from Israel, Kenya, and South Africa, you know? And how did you actually find the transition to actually cope with the change?
A good question. Well, you know, because this all happened as a kid, it enables you to adapt to different countries, situations, new cities. So it's good because kids can adapt quite quickly, you know, in terms of the language or whatever. So yeah, that's been I guess it was a long time ago, but but I guess it gives you those tools, you know, to adapt to things further on in life.
Yeah. Now, from Alvi Elman to UPZ, what inspired the name?
Well,
that's one question I'm always interested in actually finding out from people.
It's just for example, the Capo, he's also, I guess, he's got his own private name. It's just that I just thought, you know what, I've got this project, I'll give it a name, and it's not going to be my own private name, you know, because as a matter of fact, I've got a few projects, not just UPZ.
Oh, yeah?
UPZ is the main one, but soon you might hear of some more.
Okay.
And some of them you might not even know it's me.
Why are you hiding?
I just like to be mysterious sometimes. Basically, I did actually release under my own name, Avi Elman, a few times, but I thought, you know what, I didn't really like it, so I thought let's stick to UPZ as the main, you know, soulful house, deep house, Afro house project, and then if there's any other genres I want to do, I can give them other names. So, that's something I'm exploring at the moment.
Yeah. So for someone that actually doesn't know what actually UPZ stands for, what does it stand for?
Well, originally it stood for United People of Zion.
Okay.
But you know what? It can change. It can stand for something else. I mean, I don't... Serious.
Yeah.
You know, I don't really use I just use the acronym. Yeah, the acronym, UPZ. I mean, because the original name, it was just too long. So I thought, let's just stick with UPZ, keep it simple. Because people were getting confused, you know, UPZ, ups, and all that kind of stuff. So I thought, let's keep it simple. UPZ, that's all.
Because the first time I actually came across the name, I was like, how do you actually pronounce it?
Exactly.
Is it ups or is it UPZ or is it UPZ specifically, you know? And yes, of course, we've got the amazing, the legendary house music producer. And now he's actually, you know, delving into another sound, which is actually called the New Disco. Please tell us about this sound, Majin.
New Disco's been around for, you know, it's basically disco music, but just with a modern edge. And it's been around. It hasn't caught on so far in South Africa, though. Actually, if you look in the 80s, a lot of the big tracks from South Africa, Weekend Special, Sipho Hot Sticks Mabuse, those were kind of disco-ish.
Yeah.
So maybe we can reintroduce that sound.
Maybe.
How about that?
Yeah.
I was actually playing around with doing some bootlegs of those tracks.
Oh, yeah?
But I haven't completed them fully. But yeah, I think New Disco, it's a great sound. I love it, and it's kind of fresh, as you were saying. So why not explore it? You know.
The first time I actually heard that track you did with Mary Chan and the Proverb, I was like, okay, cool. What's good? Is this UPZ? Is this UPZ? But it sounded so fresh.
Yeah.
It sounded so fresh, and I love the sound. And while listening to this magic with you, it's also sounded super nice, you know. And shout out to you for actually always exploring new sounds. Now, for all of the people that might know you, they might know you for Pure Surprise, which you actually blew up back in 2007. You know, were you actually ready for the blow up it actually had out here in South Africa?
Well, actually, you see, the funny thing is, it came out in 2007.
But it came back.
It was on Traxos and it was very underground and not so well known. It only blew up 2 years later. So there was a process. What happened was some DJ started picking up on it, playing it out in, you know, certain venues, Newtown, whatever. And then just about a year and a half later, just suddenly blew up. And then just before it blew up, I even had a few labels wanting it kind of at the same time and all that. I didn't really expect it, to be honest. Even though when I did produce it, I thought, you know what, this is a really cool track. So it did actually catch me by surprise. But that's what happens a lot of the times, you know, tracks that you think will do well don't, tracks you don't think will do well do.
So, and one thing that I also heard, apparently I'm not quite sure of this, it was actually quite big in Japan. before it was big here in South Africa?
Well, actually, UPZ, we had an album out in Japan in 2007, like an entire and yeah, it was picked up by some labels there. Various versions were released, also in the UK. But yeah, it did like quite nicely in Japan too, before it came to SA. In SA, the proportions of its popularity were much like bigger.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Oh wow, man! Yeah. You've actually been working for a very long time right now, you know, and you even started your own record label, So What Records, you know. Yeah. And do you have actually a couple of people assigned under your record label?
Basically, So What Records is a boutique label. We're a very small label. We only focus on like mainly UPZ productions, and sometimes I do sign like singles from other artists. I mean, we've had Kunis Uzongilinda,
which was probably one of the biggest tracks.
Yeah, that was really nice.
Biggest remixes that you ever did.
Yeah, thanks. We worked obviously a lot with Soul Candy during those years. And who else did we work with? We had Black Motion.
Sure.
We had Black Coffee did like a remix for one of the tracks that I released. So yeah, sometimes we do sign other tracks. We've got Dull Hates Disco. It's a new Joburg based electronic act. We got a couple of others coming through. One called Obisana.
Okay.
Very new.
Yeah.
So there's a few, but there will only be like maybe 3 acts I will focus on, not more, you know.
Not more than 3.
Yeah, because you know it's I'd rather focus more on production as opposed to like running a label. Yeah.
So you're focusing on yourself really, and focusing on the artists that you've actually signed under you, and just production only. You know? You're not really looking forward to actually making a big stable house music, big stable.
No. I'm not really focused on doing the business side of it. I'm focused more on the artistic side of it and the creation of it. You know.
Sure. And then how do you actually go about choosing and picking a specific artist that you know what? Okay, cool. I'm gonna work with this specific artist under my record label.
Well, usually in my case, it's more singles, even though more like artists are like I am working. But it depends on the sound. You know, you gotta like their sound.
True.
Obviously, you gotta connect to them as people as well. You know, that makes a big difference. But if there's a track that captures, like when I heard Uzongilinda, straight away I thought, wow, there's something really special here. I heard my Les vocal. I thought, you know what, I can also put my own stamp on it. I thought I liked the original, but I thought, you know what, this could be really nice with a few remixes. We put a nice package together. You got
this is the track.
And we got quite a few South Africans to remix it as well. Bika Soul, I think, also did one. And I think it came out really nice. So I'm very pleased with that one. You know,
and you've been doing a great job ever since, right? Ever since I knew UPZ, since 2007. That's when I started knowing UPZ because back then I think it was in grade 7. You know, I realized UPZ, this guy is so dope. He also worked with Black Motion. He worked with a whole lot of other people. You know, we're going to be talking about that right now. Anyway, 31 minutes past 10 o'clock Central African time. This is the Morning Mayhem right here on TransAfricaRadio. We've got UPZ in the building. Any questions you might have for him, simply WhatsApp us on +27 7925 44329, or simply tweet us at TransAfrica872, and please the CC at The Real Mashile. And yes, of course, UPZ is in the building. Legendary house music producer. What's that one country that we actually went to and you're like, this is that country that I'd actually love to visit on a regular basis?
Well, I guess it happened with South Africa.
Okay.
But yeah, I don't know which other country I'd like to visit on a about 3 years ago I spent 3-4 months in London. I like London a lot because it's got a great cosmopolitan vibe, mixture of cultures. Really interesting. Some of the music coming out of London. That's a good place musically, actually.
London
Great place musically. Obviously New York is a good place musically. And I think wherever you go, you can like find inspiration and tap into what's going on. Can be Tokyo, can be Nairobi, can be whatever. I like tapping into local scenes and seeing what's going on there, and try and get inspiration from it. You know.
Okay, cool. Now, off air, I actually asked you a question and saying, how do you actually go about picking and choosing a specific vocalist for a specific track? You know, do you actually lay down a beat and then say, okay, cool, I'm just gonna pick probably Runaway, for example, you know, or probably Kafele, for example. Now, how do you actually pick and choose a specific artist for your track?
Well, it changes. As some tracks you listen to them and you know, you have a feeling or you like this intuition that, you know what, this kind of vocalist could work on that track. Other tracks you don't know, you like experiment. You say, oh, that's an interesting vocal. This isn't maybe, you know, so you kind of experiment. Most of the time I did like envision a certain vocalist for a certain track, and usually it worked out. I guess in maybe like 80% of cases.
Yeah.
Some cases not. You try something, doesn't work.
It happens. It happens
as well.
And who's that one artist that we've actually worked with and say, okay, cool, I'm just going to keep on working with this artist. Whether I release an album 10 years or 15 years from now, this artist is always going to be featured on my album.
Well, as you noticed, I don't actually do that so much.
Okay.
I actually change artists all the time. Usually I work with an artist like for two tracks, maybe 3 maximum. So because I like change,
Sure.
I like change. I like to explore my sound, and the same like with vocalists. I just like to try different vocalists, and but it could still happen. That there's But at the moment, I like the new kind of. The new edge and the new angle I get from different vocalists. That for me, that's like, instead of just working with the same one,
Same one over and over and over again. Yeah. Now, okay, cool. Let's look at Israel for just a little bit. Israel is not really known for its house music production, and you kind of the people that actually made it big out there, And are there actually people that you actually look forward to actually working with out there in Israel? Most probably.
I did work with a few people. You're right. Israel isn't known, but Israel is actually known for its trance music.
Yeah, true. I was about to say that.
Very big on that. And now lately, the last 5-10 years, it is growing in terms of the house music.
Yeah.
But the kind of house music they do there is more tech house.
Okay.
So they're more influenced by the Berlin sound.
Yeah.
But you got people like Yotam Avni. He did like some soulful deep tech.
Aviv, I think. Aviv isn't Aviv from Israel? Okay,
well, there is Aviv's, but it's like, I don't know which one specifically you're referring. You've got a big artist called Aviv Geffen, but he's not house music.
Oh, yeah. My humble apologies on that one. Now, you are inspired by a whole other things. Probably like what gets you going? What gets UPZ going and course, like doing more music on a regular basis?
I don't know.
Yeah.
It's a good question. I don't know. It's just everything. I'm just really passionate about music.
Yeah.
Like in all walks, like even if I watch movies or whatever, I like to watch music related movies, documentaries. And what inspires it? I don't know.
You don't know?
I don't actually know. It's just there. It's built in.
Yeah.
But you know what? I liked music ever since I was a kid. Before I got into producing, I was actually playing in bands. I played keyboards as a teenager and guitar as well.
Yeah.
So I played those instruments. I played in bands, and then so music was always a part of me as growing up.
Yeah. Was that influenced by probably your parents or your upbringing?
Not so much my parents. Not so much my parents actually. Well, my dad's a bit of a musician himself. Plays the accordion.
Oh yeah.
Quite an old-fashioned instrument. But yeah, my dad's so I got my ear from him. But I just got into it. And actually, maybe I think growing up in South Africa, I don't know, I got like exposed to different genres in South Africa. I got exposed to jazz, soul, kwaito, and also I got exposed to pop music, rock, whatever. All of it. I got exposed to all of it growing up. So that all was like an influence on me.
Yeah. Is there probably like a specific genre like you've actually been exposed to that you want to tap into? Probably. Like besides from house.
Oh yeah. I like indie music a lot. You know, indie alternative. Mix that up with electronic. I also kind of like hip hop.
Yeah.
But more edgy kind of hip hop.
Okay.
Kind of like.
So can you look forward to something, Yana? You doing hip hop?
Yes.
Jumping the exclusive right here on the Morning Mayhem.
But even if you heard that track, obviously the one with Marishan and Proverb, hip hop, and even going back to Pure Surprise has got rap on it.
Yeah.
As a matter of fact, Pure Surprise started off as an R&B track. There's another R&B version of it.
Oh,
that is the original version. But because the house mix became so big, that's like the original version.
Yeah.
But it actually started as an R&B track.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
Very, very, very interesting. I'm learning so much today, right?
Yeah.
Learning so much.
This is TransAfricaRadio.